Well, greetings and salutations, and welcome to another fun-filled episode right here on the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag, coming to you live once again from the J Cave. I am joined by Peter Griffin. What's going on, Peter Griffin?
How you doing, JT?
So glad to have Peter Griffin here. Bill Murphy. Peter Griffin's here.
What's up?
And Meg. How are you, Meg?
Hi.
Shut up.
Well, better than the Meg
Shut up,
on
Meg.
Family Guy. Oh.
There we go. And we have none other than Mayor Adam West himself.
My God.
Adam.
I'm a tomato.
Well, you guys know it seems today that all you see is
Violence and
sex on
movies and
TV.
sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values? Which we used to lie.
lie.
Lucky
There's a family guy. Lucky there's
You positively can do
And you.
all the things
Luckily,
that
we're
I
so
can.
off key
left
that
and cry.
We're
the
off to a
bots
terrible
don't
start,
recognize
everyone. Sorry
that
about
we're doing a copyrighted song.
Okay, so
We are
Well,
screwed.
this is our top 10 Family Guy episode.
yep, we might as well go forward with it. Unfortunately, our dear friend and fearless leader will not be participating in this.
How about this? If everyone could comment below saying JT should watch all of our number one Family Guy episodes, we want to see a reaction to that.
Man.
And
We should do it like a watch along.
yeah, I'm planning that one day because for those of you who don't know, our dear friend and fearless leader has never seen an episode of Family Guy.
Shame.
Shame!
I know. I'm
JT,
sorry, everyone.
Before we begin, I want to ask, why haven't you ever watched Family Guy?
Can I be brutally honest with you, all you guys?
You can be brutally honest all you
No, I
want.
want you to lie to me.
It just never. I'm not gonna say it didn't appeal to me. I never tuned into it. I never watched it. Whenever I would see it on TV, I just naturally would just say, it's Family Guy. I not that I hated or loved it. I just never have seen it. I don't really have an opinion of it, so I can't really say much. But as you can clearly tell, everyone, tonight's topic is not me because I have not seen this, but I'm just doing the controls tonight. But tonight's show is on the top 10 Family Guy episodes by Meg, Peter Griffin, and Mayor Adam West over here. So they're gonna share their top 10 Family Guy episodes with all of you tonight here. And if you're listening to us, great. If not, you're watching us live, great, whatever. This is gonna be a good one tonight. I can feel it. So let's start where all things should start, with Mayor Adam West.
A wise choice, fellow citizen.
Are we going with the honorable mentions first?
Whatever you guys want to do. I'm here just controlling the stuff here. So
Shoot, I forgot about honorable mentions. Well, I guess I have a few. I'm not gonna pronounce it, but it's the reverse Family Guy episode where everything was happening in reverse.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
It's like the 200th episode of Family Guy.
Now,
Young Yilma.
it's creative. It's funny. It's wacky. It really embraces the Stewie and Brian dynamic. Oh my God, that scene was just awful.
That whole episode to me scarred me.
Yeah. Like, I knew it was going to be a special episode when it used the Ferris Bueller reference. This is when Brian goes berserk. Oh.
Okay, what's your other?
All this to get his tail wet. Yeah, that's my only real honorable mention.
okay. So that's sorry, not Justin. That's Mayor Adam West's first honorable mention. Do you want to do honor? Let's get honorable mention out of the way. Let's go to Peter Griffin himself.
Well, I got a couple honorable mentions. One is called Family Guy.
Oh,
Oy.
this is the one with JT. This is the one that had the Justice League introduction.
Oh, hold on a
This
second.
is the one where they first the Kathy Ireland cutaway guy with the cut out, and then after making up with Lois, finds out that Lois may have
A lump.
a lump, and finds out it's not. Took into history and saying that Lois is Jewish. Peter starts to embrace her Jewish faith, but then gets haunted by the ghost of his devout Catholic father, and finds out that, and it starts some tension. I gotta admit, it kind of pokes fun at anti-Semitism, but in a fun way. Okay, for those of you who are about to clutch your pearls on things here, to Seth MacFarlane, there is no sacred cow. Everything is up for grabs. And nothing's off limits. And would you guys agree with me on that? Meg?
Yeah.
Mayor
Yeah.
West? Nothing is off the table. Everything is up for grabs.
For better or worse.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Seth MacFarlane. Nothing is sacred. And another episode, I regret putting this on the list, but I couldn't know where to put it because I just thought of it now. It was the episode, I don't know the name of it. It's the episode when Chris gets expelled from school and
he has to go to the rich people school.
yes, and and that started. It was one of, if not first, one of the best Family Guy cutaway gags ever.
The tuba.
Okay. Stop it! Cut it out! I have a glandular bone. That'll be $75. But no, the chicken fight.
Oh yeah, that is a chicken fight episode.
That was when the chicken fight started because there's been multiple chicken fights.
No, that started in
Double was one of the first chicken fights.
No, that was the second one, but it was like,
wow,
it's not like the high school's gonna take him back. Oh crap! And the chicken comes in and they start killing each other, and then he goes, "Why are we fighting?" And they goes, "I don't know. I think it was about a coupon or something." Oh, you know what? I really suck. Hey, how did my wife and I take you out for dinner?
Oh yeah. Oh, it was that one.
And
That was a fun one.
They start fighting over the bill, and then they
Yep.
start doing it again. And then Peter comes back all beat up, goes, "Well, it's not like the high school's going to take him back." So yeah, I love that chicken fight. It's so
That
great.
is one of the better chicken fights.
And then, okay, my final honorable mention is I Dream of Jesus.
Oh,
Yes, we'll get there in a second, I promise.
only for this reason.
Jesus comes back to Quahog and he becomes friends with Peter. But then Jesus lets the fame go to his head, and at the end he neglects Peter, goes to jail. Then Jesus goes back to heaven. And of course, it's a okay episode. The premise is pretty creative, but I think we all know the real reason why we remember it.
No, don't please.
Haven't you heard?
No.
No.
I want a bird. That bird's the word. That bird's the word. Don't you know about the bird? Yep, that was the episode that started it.
Oh my God.
That was the episode that started that running gag.
But we all know when it reached its maturity and became the ultimate joke was when Peter Griffin was playing a soft version of it on the stereo while Carter was making up to
Babs.
Babs.
Please, now I just want to go smash that record again.
Bird. The bird's the word. Peter, I think I'd like to do this by myself.
Okay.
So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Oh, so you're Stewie now?
I had to go dump back into that little shithole place.
All right, Stewie.
All right. I'm gonna talk about
Dude,
my
we
honorable
laid on
mentions.
us. All right, your honorable mentions. Go ahead.
All right. My first one is Don't Be a Dickens. The Family Guy Christmas Carol with Patrick Swayze in it. I don't know. I don't know why. I just loved it. Honestly, they showed one of my favorite parts of SNL, doing the whole Chippendale thing in the end. And they were just
And
all
yes, Peter was Chris Farley.
yes. Another one was the episode where Chris Griffin goes to space camp called Space Cadets.
Oh yeah.
That one I think had the Monty Python, opening, which I showed JT. One of my other honorable mentions is Back to the Pilot. I mean, yes, it is a Road to episode, but this is the episode where they try to find Brian's ball that he buried in 1999, and it just caused the whole paradox, weirdness, nonsense where multiple Brians and Stevies.
We might be talking about this episode in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I'll let you go into that one. I have two more, actually three more, but my next honorable mention is Halloween on Spooner Street. I mean, it really is probably the best Halloween episode they had, where you had Brian beat up.
Oh yeah.
And you also, 7 minutes. Yeah, probably one of the weirdest parts of this episode is the 7 minutes in the closet.
Oh my god.
Yes, I will say the magic word. The secret word today is incest.
You know what? You know what my favorite part of that episode is?
What's your favorite part?
Halloween is a bigger letdown than being a Mets fan.
I got one more.
Opening day, and here's the first pitch. Strike, and the season's over.
All right. My final one is actually the first two Family Guy Star Wars episode. I will be mentioning the other one in
I forgot about those.
So I would Blue Harvest, something Dark Side, pretty much talking about episodes 4 and 5. The Star Wars episode 6 is in my top 10, so I'll go more in depth with it. But there's just so much parodies along this whole thing.
They're on my list too, but I just put them all as one. So.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to tell you when they're on my list, but like the certain episodes, like the Road Tubes and the Star Wars parodies, I just put it all in one.
Really? I split them all. I'm surprised, Bill. But that's it for my honorable mention.
Hey, you do it your way. I do it my way.
So how do you want to do this? You want to go 10, then 9, and then go from there?
That's how we always do it.
Okay, so who wants to start with their number 10?
Oh, good question.
I guess I'll start.
All right, Justin, what's your number 10? Or Mayor West, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is going to be Peter's Progress.
Oh, gosh!
So this is the episode where Peter and the gang are meeting with a seer who sees into their past selves and find out who they used to be. Fun fact, Quagmire was Jack the Ripper in a previous life.
Giggity. Giggity.
And it turns out that Peter Griffin was a descendant of, what was his name? Griffin Peterson?
Yes.
And who was the founder of Quahog.
Oh.
I remember this episode.
Trying to escape the persecution of King Stewie. And to marry Carter's daughter, who is to wed King Stewie, who happens to be Lois.
I gotta admit, that part's a little creepy.
Incest once again. Magic word, people.
When they do these kind of shorts, they don't care. I mean, you're thinking about it, but they don't care.
Of course they don't care.
And the way they defeat King Stewie at the end is this talent contest straight out of Revenge of the Nerds. In fact,
Yes.
they do the same musical number as in Revenge of the Nerds, and it's pretty surreal.
You know what I love?
What?
When Stewie's top guy, who was played by Chris, he holds when he goes, okay, let me get your thing. He goes, out. Go ahead. If you want to leave your buddy here in one piece, you better give me. He goes, go ahead. You kill her. I kill. You go ahead. You kill him. I kill her. Go ahead. You kill her. I kill him. Go ahead. You kill him. I kill her.
Oh my goodness.
I love that episode. I love that part. It's so funny.
So yeah, that's my number 10.
Number 10. All right. Who's next?
Do you want to go next, Bo, or do you want me to go next?
I guess I'll go next. My number 10. This is called Friends of Peter G.
God damn it, Bill.
What is that on your list?
Yeah, it's a little higher, but yeah,
Well, guess what that means.
we swipe right.
We swipe right.
Yippee!
So anyway, okay. So for those of you who haven't seen the episode, it's in Peter and Brian get caught for drunk driving and sentenced to AA. And it turns out in the meeting, they get bored and they're like, only like 3 months more of these are done. And then they decide, no, people, they don't just get better, they just get addicted to AA. So they start drinking. And then when the cops come, they do an awesome version, I must say, of
Oh my god, it's a great version of Mr. Booze
from the movie. Okay, what movie is that from? Mr. Hotshot.
Wasn't it Robin in the Hood or something like that?
Robin and the Seven Hoods, which is
Robin and the Seven Hoods. I was close.
I give you credit, which is a very underappreciated Rat Pack movie. And I think it's the only one that doesn't have Peter Lorre in it. Because that was around the time when Frank Sinatra and Peter Lorre's then brother-in-law, who just happened to be the president of the United States, John F. Kennedy, got into a big spat, and Peter Lorre and Frank Sinatra got into it, and he was replaced in that movie by Bing Crosby. Anyway, their great version of Mr. Booze, and then they all get drunk, and then Peter gets in a car accident and dies, but who comes?
Death.
Death is the group. Hey, Justin, please be Rosie O'Donnell. Please be Rosie O'Donnell. Please be Rosie O'Donnell.
Is it?
And then he
That was like as part of the joke. It wasn't that I was like, god damn it. He was like, wait, is that?
But what it shows if Peter continuing being a stupid drunk, which is him being basically abusive to his family, but then also shows him an alternative. What if he just stopped drinking altogether and never touched a drop? And it turns out to be, Justin, how would you describe him?
Basically just like a Mormon version of Peter Griffin or something like that, if that makes sense. Or just like the most clean cut version of Peter.
But you know what I really love? I really love the message of this episode, though.
Yeah, it's a message of moderation.
It's like, oh God, when I drink, I'm a jerk, but when I don't, I'm just boring. That's the thing. It's called moderation. Put the bottle down every now and then. Learn when to cut yourself off. And you know what? The message of this story is, of course, moderation. Listen, I know some people have, if you do have an addiction to anything, whether it be alcohol, gambling, please do go get help. But these type of vices aren't necessarily evil. They're only evil if you let them become evil. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're only evil if you let them become evil. And there are times that, listen, if you do struggle with something like alcoholism, then yeah, you need to go get some help. But if you can learn to say, okay, maybe, okay, I just need some balance, and I need to know, okay, maybe I can cut myself back here. Like, you just gotta learn that moderation. And that is the premise of this episode. All right, Stewie, over to you.
All right. So my number 10, for me, I love when they do the episodes where they parody certain plays and literatures. So my number 10 is 12 and a Half Angry Men, where Mayor West over here gets put on trial for a murder. We don't know if he committed or not.
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
So pretty much this is like the crazier version of 12 Angry Men, which actually does have one woman, Miss Consuela. No. Mr. Griffin, Mr. Peter. I mean, literally, probably the one person who's always going against everything is Carter.
Yep.
And Brian is the one causing all the chaos.
And this is around the time where everyone was starting to really think, wow, Brian's an asshole.
He's been an asshole since day one.
Not really, though. Would you say, Justin?
I think that started around like season 6 or 7.
Like, he was more of the
voice of reason, and granted, yes, mouthpiece of Seth MacFarlane, but not to the extent he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And because now he's basically, he's like the guy, who's really smart. Let's say the guy went to, like, I don't know, Harvard or, some very prestigious school, and has to show off that he went to some very prestigious school.
He's the prick from Good Will Hunting who likes apples.
He's that guy, like, oh yes, did I mention I went to Harvard? And yeah, he's become that guy who is just so insufferable. Like, if you were to hang out with someone like Brian Griffin, would you think, okay, this guy's freaking insufferable, I need to go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I kind of also realized with this episode, you also got to see, again, other people shine out as their characters. You get to see Mort shine out. You get to see the doctor. I think the guy who runs a comic book store, Tom Tucker, Consuela. I forgot who the guy who was the foreman was. Really, this was like one of their moments where they got to shine as the leads. And for those of you who have never watched 12, who have never read the play or saw 12 Angry Men, read it. It's a really good play.
It is amazing.
Then go watch this, because this probably will make more sense to you. All right, but that's my number 10.
All right, Mayor West, over to you for
Number 9, Petergeist.
Wait, is this the one where Stewie gets stuck in the TV?
Yep.
And the only way out is through Meg's butt.
Yeah, this episode puts the Griffins through the ringer. Like direct, it is like Seth MacFarlane's ode to Poltergeist. It's creepy as the animation is actually really creepy as hell at points. Like that, one of those images shows Hank Hill from King of the Hill. And the reason because of that is Peter peels off his face bit by bit, flesh and blood and all, to eventually reach Hank. Like, that's the kind of episode this is. It is absolutely nuts.
Like Hank from King of the Hill?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, Stewie gets stuck in the TV. Only way out is through Meg's butt. Like, it's oh my god, look at all that goo.
That's goo, not anything else, right?
Oh my god, Allie.
Are we sure it's not anything else? It's probably just goo, though, right?
Probably just goo.
Yeah, let's go with that. Oh yeah, and Bruce has the seance guy.
So what his name was, Bruce.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh no.
he's got like a job in every new episode.
Yep.
He's got
Yeah.
a new job in like every episode.
That's actually a running gag in the mobile game. Yeah, I'm going extended lore now.
Any comments on this, JT?
No, he has nothing.
I abstain.
You okay? Well, you better enjoy those number one episodes we have.
I'll watch your number ones just so I get a taste. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
That's the tip.
but anyway, you know what gag I love in there when they have Peter, it's like the time you built that balcony in the room that it has Statler and Waldorf, aka the two old guys from the Muppets.
Oh,
That was tonight's episode of Lost. So guys, what'd you think of it? It's the title's correct. I couldn't follow any of it. They out this.
That is my ultimate goal in life when I retire.
What, become the old guys in the
become a puppet?
No, to become an old geezer in the balcony heckling at all the youngsters.
Oh.
I think that's all of our goal one day. JT, would you want to join us in our goal?
Maybe.
And when we become old, we'll just become
Be
old.
puppets with us, JT.
What was that?
Yeah, I literally stuck glued together by just one person's hand.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else, Justin, on this one?
I just love how creative this episode was. Like it was. This was a real horror episode.
Okay. Okay, you ready for my number 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 9 is, since today is the first day of Pride Month, I think this is appropriate. Family Gay.
Oh. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
This episode is okay. So Peter and his shenanigans. He, after told to buy a can of beans and comes straight home. What does he buy?
Sweet.
He buys a horse.
Oh, that's a horse.
You bought a horse? You bought a horse?
Going, I just love that. And the horse is brain damaged. I love when they go, when he goes, you see, this horse will make a fine addition to our family. And then the horse pees, and he goes, you know what? I don't want to feel so conscious. Everybody pee. But Peter, everybody pee now.
Now.
Oh, God.
Stewie, we're an unusual family. But anyway, you see all the things with the horse. The horse is probably the best part of the episode. I will admit that. And then they run in a race. And he goes, I love that part where he goes, why are these horses named after canceled Fox sitcoms? And he goes, and Till Death goes, you named our baby you named our horse Till Death. and then after all the damage, leaves the Griffins in financial deficit. And Peter gets rid of the horse by throwing the horse through Mort's pharmacy.
Yeah.
And then
Destroys everything.
to pick up the money is to participate in medical experiments. And this last one is saying that injects it with the gay gene, saying that homosexuality is genetic. Okay, guys, it's just the show. Everyone calm down. And then Peter starts acting stereotypically gay. Wouldn't you guys say that's a good depiction?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It even,
Like very flamboyant, very 90s gay.
you know what? Here's a very quick conversation we can have. Do you think the portrayal there is a little problematic? Yes or no?
I mean, I think it's a product of its time.
Well, this was made in 2009, but
No.
It's been a while since I've seen this episode. I mean, again, this was 2009. I mean, nowadays, if they try to redo this, they would probably get more criticism.
Yes.
well, you got to look at it this way. The last time a majority of Americans opposed gay marriage was 2010. So we were evolving at this time, but
We were starting to change our perspective.
and they do, and so Peter ends up leaving Lois for this gentleman on the screen, and they do poke fun at conversion therapy, like putting him in what they call a straight camp.
Yeah.
Even though, listen, conversion therapy is absolutely heinous and atrocious and sick. But again, you got to think of it this way. It's Seth MacFarlane.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth MacFarlane is very pro gay rights. He makes fun of everything, wouldn't you guys say?
Yeah.
And they're not praising it, they're making fun of it. I would say, like, the conversion therapy stuff, they're not saying it, they're making fun of it, of how ridiculous it is. That's how I take it. I don't know how you guys take it if you saw the episode, but I take it they're poking fun at how ridiculous it is. Because you can't just turn straight.
No.
And I think that's what that episode's doing. They're making fun of it and saying, yeah, this is, that whole concept of conversion therapy is absolutely ridiculous. But I also love when they do a parody of Blazing Saddles.
Nah.
Oh, wow.
Where they're doing like the dance thing when they're all in the top hats and stuff. And you know that scene in Blazing Saddles. Screw this! I work for Mel Brooks.
Yes. Not in the face.
And then,
Thank you.
and then, so Peter goes back with the guy. They're about to, consummate the relationship. But then it turns out back in the lab, oh, homosexuality isn't genetic. And then Peter turns straight again at the end of the episode. Meg goes, so we're never going to talk about this again? He goes, exactly, honey. And the final appearance for the horse. Mort throws it through their window and goes, take your freaking horse back. So I think this episode, I wouldn't say it's problematic, but it's dated. But looking back at it, how it does poke fun at, like, again, it pokes fun at homophobia. It doesn't encourage it, it pokes fun at it. And I really do like this episode. I think it's funny, and I like it. So that's my number 9, Family Gay. All right, Allie, over to you.
Right. So I know some people are going to criticize this is low on my list, but I have so many others that are higher. My number 9 is Stewie Loves Lois.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of like the one time Stewie actually loves Lois because he repairs Rupert for him. And all Stewie wants now is just to have Lois' attention.
Mom, 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 mommy,
Mommy!
mommy,
Mommy!
mommy,
Mommy!
mommy,
Mommy!
mommy,
Mommy,
Mama,
Mama.
What?
Hi.
And that's pretty much the whole concept of this episode. I mean, I don't know what else happened, but I think it just came to Lois's nerve to make her hate Stewie, which is always the opposite because Lois loved Stewie, but Stewie hates Lois. I mean, there's a whole 2-part episode. I don't know if it's on your list where Stewie tries to kill Lois, Lois tries to kill Stewie.
Nah, I didn't put it on my list.
I have it on mine. You'll see when we get there.
Oh
All
boy.
right. Oh, wait, this is the episode where Peter realizes about the evil monkey in Chris's closet.
The evil monkey. But the evil monkey lives in my closet.
Oh wait. So this is the one where Peter and Chris have that feud.
With the monkey.
I think it's the one when Lois, when Peter gets the prostate exam.
Wait, so that's the Peter story in this episode then, right?
Yeah, there is a B plot.
And that's when Peter refuses to get a prostate. Doesn't he try to sue Dr. Hartman?
Yep.
Oh, when he thought he got sexually harassed.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anything else you guys have to talk about with Stewie Loves Lois?
I think it's a fun episode. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number 9. All right, Mayor West.
All right.
All right. My number 8, boys and girls. Is Blind Ambition.
Ambition. Oh, Peter goes blind in this episode? Oh, wait,
Yes.
there's another chicken fight.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I will be completely honest. I forgot about the chicken fight.
We need more chicken fights in Family Guy. Especially in the newer seasons. Seth MacFarlane, bring back the chicken fight.
The reason I chose this episode is because the blind subplot. I really did enjoy the Peter trying to get recognition for something, so he ate all these nickels, and for some reason the nickel poisoning or something like that gave him blindness. So he's trying to go about his normal life as a blind person, watching TV, going to the bar, bathroom, and it goes about as well as expected. Then the bar sets on fire, and Horace, the barkeep, gets trapped under a beam.
Does
And-
he die in this episode?
No, not in this episode. That's a later episode.
Oh, because I know Jermaine takes over the clan
Yes.
later.
Yes.
Wait, was Brian trying to be his guide dog as well, and then they replaced him with somebody else?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
And Peter ends up saving Horace somehow, not realizing the bar was on fire at any point until someone asked him, how are you so brave to save that man from the fire? And that he was like, that freaking place was on fire. And then they do the award ceremony from the original Star Wars, which anyone who knows me, I am a sucker for that scene. I am a sucker for that score. It just hit all the right check marks. And yes, the Quagmire's plotline was a little problematic, I will admit, but it's still funny as hell.
I love the Chewbacca thing at the end. That was great. Yeah, we will admit the Quagmire subplot is problematic.
Yeah, and that's been like ongoing throughout the whole series.
I think this is probably no, never mind. I retract that statement.
Okay, so is it over to me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, my number 8 is Three Kings.
Oh, the Stephen King episode.
Yes. So for those of you, it's all right. So here's the one. Here's the episode. They go to Peter is like, hi, Peter Griffin here. My wife Lois keeps telling me to stop watching TV and read more books. So one of the greatest authors of our time, Stephen King. So they do parodies of Stand By Me, which, Justin, I'm going to see if you know this. What was the original name of the Stand By Me short story?
The Body.
Correct.
I wouldn't know that.
What was that, Allie?
I wouldn't know that. I should read more Stephen King though.
Yeah, but anyway, they did Stand By Me, Misery,
Yep.
and Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
Misery-
Shawshank.
Misery in particular was great.
Wait, what was that?
I said Misery in particular was great with this.
Yeah, and that one you have Stewie is Kathy Bates's character, and Brian is James
Yeah.
Caan's character.
Oh,
And you had the gang, Quagmire, Cleveland, Joe, and Peter as the kids.
Joe actually walking.
You know, until
Something happened.
No. Another train.
The train.
yeah, twice.
Oh no.
And then in the Misery one, Joe gets kneecapped by Stewie.
Oh wow.
And
Poor
then
Joe.
in Shawshank, I think they just like kneecapped him with like the police batons.
Oh man. I feel like there's always a running gag. Like that's the running gag for the Kings. And I'll be honest, when I talk about the Star Wars one, you know I'm gonna talk about Meg. Well, I'll tell you right now, they always do something with Meg in the Star Wars episode, making her.
Yeah,
like
they
a-
always make her a creature.
Yeah.
I love with the Shawshank Redemption I love that when they're playing the music up over the it ain't no hollaback girl. And anyway, and I love that part where they go, so we can use some music in here. And the warden, who's played by Carter, music is forbidden in prison rules. You're being so obtuse. What was that? Obtuse. You're being obtuse. 30 days in the hole. I'm being obtuse. No, now you're being acute. Math joke. And I like at the end when they're saying, do you remember that place in Mexico I told you? Like in the end of Shawshank Redemption. And Cleveland goes, who's playing Morgan Freeman's character? Crap! And Peter's like, where is he? I can't go to the authorities. I just broke out of prison.
Oh.
And then, thank you, Stephen King. We'll see you in court.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that scene in the Misery parody when Brian is driving down, oh God, Stephen King! And then he swerves off, and then Stephen King goes, this would be a good idea for a story. And he's writing it when he's up, and goes, done. I wonder if that was a real Stephen King.
We'll have to look again and see.
Or if he wasn't involved, I wonder what Stephen King thought of this episode. I'm sure he probably would have gotten a good laugh out of it.
Probably would have enjoyed it. I probably thank Seth MacFarlane for giving him an honor, for giving him a homage.
So, yeah, I really do like this episode. It's a fun one. Okay, next.
All right, it's me. So my number 8 is called Lego My Mego. This is the episode where Meg goes on a study abroad program in Paris only to get kidnapped. And Stewie and Brian have to now go and try to rescue Meg. And probably one of my favorite scenes in this episode when Stewie tries to dress up as a prostitute.
As you do.
And literally just dances to California Girls to get money. And Brian has to bail him out with like $500,000, which once again, we know Brian is an asshole. He also does not know how to bid.
He's a dog. What do you expect?
He's a smart dog. He should know better. But yet, I felt like this was probably the one moment, yes, Meg got sold to somebody, but this somebody she got sold to actually loved her.
Yeah, that's the sad irony of this episode.
I'm like, why can't you let Meg be happy without something happening? Like, honestly, in one of the more recent episodes, she stays in Russia to get married to a guy, only for the guy to use her for a green card.
Oof. I thought you were going to mention the soft rock cruise where her boyfriend-to-be gets decapitated.
Oh. And there's also the episode where Meg gets a makeover and gets used. Yeah, but I think we realized in this episode, although yes, Meg was in trouble, why can't you just let her be happy?
Because it's Meg.
Shut up, Meg.
She doesn't deserve to be happy.
I think the Storm episodes explains it perfectly.
Anybody have that episode in their top 10? Because I know I don't.
I don't.
That she's always a scapegoat for the Griffin family's problems.
Yeah, and some people consider that one of the worst episodes.
I did. I mean, I felt like it felt so bad for Meg. It's like the moment she finally
that was a
stood
bad
up.
episode. That was not a good episode.
I know.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Okay.
Anything else for this episode, or are we good?
I think we're good. I've actually never seen this episode, so let's go to number 7. Lucky number 7. Mayor West.
So, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but back to the pilot.
Yes, we're going back to the pilot, JT.
So, as you said, they go back into time to find Brian's ball. They go back to the first episode, and it's so bizarre because you get to see all the changes. The aspect ratio is different, the animation style is different, and as you can see, in that picture with the two Stewies, they are using the 99 backgrounds with the modern characters just inserted. it's a bizarre episode. And what ends up happening is Brian decides to use this opportunity to, thanks to his ego, become a hero by stopping 9/11 from happening.
Brian, you asshole.
And in causing 9/11 to not happen, George W. Bush lost the 2004 election and convinces the South to secede from the Union again, causing a second civil war and apocalyptic situation, causing Stewie and Brian to go back in time to stop themselves from stopping 9/11, only for another version of them to stop them, only for another version to stop the
So
people stopping them.
Stewie and Brian are
And so
trying
on
to
and
stop
so forth.
each other
And
from
it
doing
just
something.
Don't give any investment advice. Don't do this. Just go back to your own zones.
No. I'm coming from the near future. What he's going to have to do is actually turns out okay. What they're going to do is much, much worse.
And also, Justin, when you brought up the whole 9/11 thing, you know why Seth MacFarlane pokes fun at 9/11? He was
going to be on that flight.
Yes, he was supposed to go on the flight to go into one of the towers, but he missed his flight because he was hungover the next day. Because he missed his flight because he was hungover.
The best hangover of his life. Sorry.
But yeah, I think that's why Seth MacFarlane pokes fun at 9/11 so much in those episodes.
Started with the back to the pilot.
Yeah, that's it for Back to the Pilot. It's just bizarre.
Okay. Are we ready for my number 7?
Yes, we are.
My number 7 is The Three Directors.
Oh, yes! This is the episode where Peter gets fired. Wes Anderson style, Quentin Tarantino style. I forgot the third style.
Michael Bay.
And
Michael Bay style. Yes.
It's like you're going to see 3 directors of their version of Peter Gets Fired.
The play is off. The play is back on.
Yeah. Anyway, I love the Quentin Tarantino one is great. The Michael Bay one's the Michael Bay one is just, them poking fun at Michael Bay, which is explosions.
Yes.
Megan Fox's ass.
The Talking Hour 88 for Tarantino.
Yes.
And then all the blood. You also have to mention Tarantino with blood. And Kill Bill.
But my favorite one was actually, believe it or not, was actually the Wes Anderson one.
Oh, was this the one where they tried to put a play?
Yes.
Yes, and they're like, what about the play? The play is off.
Oh.
The play is off.
Back on.
We must summon the children. My brother Chris was an escape artist and a doctor.
Oh my goodness.
Our dog Brian was in the was in the pickleball tournament. I hate to tell you that I've been relieved of my duties. But what about the play? The play is on hold temporarily. I don't have access to the brewery with all the tape and stuff going. We could get you that. The play is back on.
Aw.
Yeah, I really liked the Wes. I think the Wes Anderson one was probably my favorite. But this is just such a fun episode of them exploring the different directed styles of different directors. I thought this was a fun episode to watch.
I wish this was on my top 10 or honorable mention, but I'm glad we get to talk about it. It's so good. Oh, I forgot to mention the Michael Bay with the beefy muscles that everybody has. Why do all the actors have to have muscles?
Not just muscled, oiled up muscles.
Okay.
Men.
I want to see every nook and cranny on that.
What if they did a Marty Scorsese parody?
Oh.
That would have to go on HBO Max or Hulu or something like that. They won't air that on TV.
I also want to see a Spike Lee version in the future.
So, yeah, so Seth MacFarlane, you better start taking our ideas. We'll charge you.
Part 2 of 3 directors.
Yeah, so that's my number 7. All right, Ellie.
My number 7 is called Grim Job. So this is the episode where Peter tells the story of Little Red Riding Hood, of Jack and the Beanstalk, and of Cinderella. Grim as in Brother Grimm.
Oh, Grim Job.
Yes. Grimm. You don't know the Grimm brothers?
Well, he knows. Who
I
they
know
are.
the Grimm brothers.
Yeah, Stewie couldn't fall asleep, so Peter reads a story to him. I think probably one of the funniest jokes is there's a lot of fun jokes in there. So many. I mean, where do you get Jack and the Beanstalk? I mean, number 1, you have hard playing.
Oh my God, Meg's one of the stepsisters.
Yes, that's a
You know what? It's a step up for her, even though she is still ugly.
Shut up, Meg.
Oh my goodness. So I'll talk about Jack and the Beanstalk quickly. Brian ends up being the cow, of course. I mean, we know the whole story of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Mhm.
Peter goes up and literally, I think, he goes up the beanstalk with his coach telling him to climb up or something. I think we know the whole story. Stewie becomes the goose that lays the golden egg. Quagmire tries to chop the tree down because he wanted to see Little Miss Muffet's tuffet. We know where that's going.
Katie.
Red Riding Hood, we know Stewie becomes Red Riding Hood and realizes how long the woods is. Brian, of course, the asshole's a wolf in this one, who eats up Mrs. Peter Schmidt and impersonates Stewie really well because it's another Seth MacFarlane, asking for some Cool Whip.
Wait, what?
Cool Whip.
Whip.
I is that pie without Cool
Say whip.
Whip.
Some apple pie and Cool Whip.
Now say Cool Whip.
Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Whip.
Yeah. And Stewie knowing, oh gosh, here we're going with the whole thing. My, what big eyes you have. My, what big nose. Oh yeah, enough. At least you're not going to get killed by the woodsman. By who? Peter Griffin with a chainsaw. Aha! It was psychotically killing not only Brian, but Babs Peter. I just go randomly killing people. I forgot Chris Griffin being the giant and Jack and the Beanstalk. And then the Cinderella story. I mean, we know Lois is Cinderella. Stepmothers. I think they said Lois somehow. I don't know. There was like a joke about Midas with gold. We know the whole story of Cinderella, something like that. Mayor West becomes a fairy godmother. And I think Brian, of course, again, a dog, this time becomes a horse. Joe being the carriage. This hurts. So bad for Joe.
Poor Joe.
I know. I mean, we know the whole story of Cinderella and all that. And in the end, they say, oh, Cinderella and Prince Charming lived happily ever after and then got a divorce a year later. Oh. But this was actually a really fun episode to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't realize something. All the episodes where they do a 3 stories or 3 parts to it, it shows 3 different segments, are the best episodes.
Yeah, they're usually their better efforts. That's when they can go just all out with the creativity.
Yes.
They just did an episode where they did the 3 Oscar-winning movies: Silence of the Lambs,
Yes.
Forrest Gump, and what's the other one? And they just keep playing 2 princes.
Not like when they do this or the 3 Kings or the 3 Directors episode. It really just gets to show them to do the creativity.
And even some of their other stuff we'll talk about later, because I know there's a few we're going to talk about. But that's my number 7. On to 6.
Now, I think we're going to have to skip me for 6 because we kind of already covered it with Friends of Peter G.
Okay.
If you want to give your quick synopsis of it,
You basically covered, Bill. You basically covered all the bases on it. Well, I will say the beginning was really funny. I just love how Brian, instead of being the voice of reason, was like, "No, I'm with you. Let's get him. Let's kick the screen's ass."
okay.
Yeah, but besides that, I have nothing to add.
Okay, my number 6 is okay, and I put both parts on it because it's a 2-part episode. Stewie kills Lois and Lois kills Stewie.
Yes.
So for anyone who hadn't seen both episodes, the first part is Brian gets Lois a cruise ticket. Get a cruise ticket for her birthday, and thinking she's going to take him, she takes Peter. Well, Peter's her husband. I just want to say the whole Brian and Lois thing, it just got weird over the course of the show.
Yeah.
Like the first time when that was addressed, it's like, you have that opposite sex friend who you have feelings for, but you don't want to jeopardize the friendship.
Then it just got more and more toxic.
Yeah, because the first time it was just like, okay, I have feelings for Lois. She's my friend, but I don't want to jeopardize our relationship now. But then he's basically, and I would say Brian is basically waiting for Peter to die so he can swipe in.
Oh gosh.
Once you think about it. I know that's toxic beyond belief, but anyway, Stewie kills Lois, so
No.
Okay, I'm gonna do in the words of Ollie. Stewie kills Lois. Peter got blamed. Peter's in court. Lois is alive.
Yeah, but that was part 2. But anyway, so Stewie
That's
ends
the beginning of part 2, where Ollie explains what happens in part 1.
I love that part when
I miss these multi-parters.
when Brian says you're gonna go, when she comes back, you're gonna come crying and thanking her and loving her, and then you're gonna fall asleep and poop. And then Stewie, when news that Lois is dead, she goes, you said it best, Brian. I'm just gonna go get my bottle, fall asleep, and poop. And like, oh God, Brian, there's a chiropractor number I'm poking. Can you please call that number for me, please? And then it's revealed that Stewie has killed Lois, and at the end it's like Peter gets framed, put on trial, he's convicted, but then Lois comes and he's like, it was Stewie, and then let's our friend go, Ollie, Peter got Stewie killed Lois, and Peter went to court. Now part 2. And so anyway, so part 2, Stewie becomes president for some weird reason. And kind of one of the most underrated Family Guy musical numbers. I got the little list. And I love how they poke fun at what's it called? They poke fun at HBO. And while we are on the subject, HBO serves a whack for ending The Sopranos with Fade to Black. But no, this is a classic Family Guy episode. I love this one. All right. Allie, over to you.
All right. My number 6 is also another 2-parter. It is called And Then There Were Fewer. aka
God
probably one of
Damn
the
it.
Should have
why.
taken all Justin's episodes.
That's my number 5.
Well, guess what? We can talk about it here. It's great. Woo! So I guess we have a joint one then.
Yep.
Oh man, this was definitely another interesting episode where they go into a dark side, where they do a murder mystery, who done it, and Family Guy has done it so well. And unfortunately, we do lose some characters.
For good.
We lose Muriel, aka Mort's wife. We lose James Wood.
Diane Simmons.
No, but we lose Diane Simmons. But how did we lose her?
You know, why don't we have this be your number 6, your number 5 conversation? Let's just do that and make things go,
Yeah. So pretty much everyone tries to split up, then they don't. They all try to stay together. People get killed. I think Ashley Tisdale was in this, and she played James Wood's girlfriend. I just realized that. We had other characters like Jillian, played by Drew Barrymore in this episode. Yeah. Unfortunately, we lost Jillian's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Husband. They were married.
They were married at that point.
Oh, they were married? You're right, they were married.
Yeah, that's when they still had continuing plot threads. No, wait. I think in a later season they did have a continuing plot thread with Brian. Like he had to move out for some reason.
All right. I mean, I'll probably let you take over from here, Justin, because I know.
Yeah, so this episode's full of twists and turns. This is the beginning of when Family Guy really amped up on their animation. So
the opening though. The opening and the ending
is stunning. Like, this is when they changed the aspect ratio to be widescreen instead of full screen, which great decision. Now it just takes up my entire screen because I have a HD TV, smart TV, really nice picture, and it just fits the entire screen now, whereas the previous seasons, nope, just a square. Yeah, I thought everyone was in top form in this episode. I thought it was like really fun seeing James Woods again.
Even though he died.
Actually, especially because he died.
Somebody came for.
And yeah, that ending was really funny, especially with Stewie being the one to pull the trigger.
If anyone's gonna kill her, it's me.
Yeah.
Do we reveal who was the one killing people?
I mean, the episode's been out for years.
So if you haven't watched it, please watch it. You know who the killer is.
It's Diane Simmons.
Yep.
Why? Because she turned 40.
And she tried to blame it all on Tom Tucker.
Yep. Well, honestly, all she really had to do was shave his mustache off. But
you drug him, put him to sleep, then shave it.
But that's more of a reference to a later episode.
Is that it? Anything else you want to talk about with this one?
No, that's it.
All right, Bill. We've done our 6 and 5.
Now it's time for my number 5. My number 5 is Lethal Weapons.
Oh.
This is
Lethal Weapons.
an old episode.
Oh, Lois doing karate.
Yeah, so Lois,
Oh my god, I haven't seen that one in years.
Lois
Oh.
learns to do karate, and Lois learns to do karate, and this and she just becomes a killing machine. And on top of that, there's a crisis in Quahog.
Oh.
No.
And the crisis is it's being invaded by New Yorkers.
Oh no, not the New Yorkers.
I love that part of the first one. Yeah, summer tourists are gone, and we have the place all to ourselves until the fall when those idiots from New York show up to watch the leaves change colors, and then the leaves change colors. No, and then they all come, and then all the New Yorkers are there, and I love that part when they're cleaning up the lawn, and they're like, "Look what all these New Yorkers left on our lawn: the New York Times, the New York Post." Allie, I'm sorry, the New York Mets.
Yep.
And then Lois, with her new karate skills, goes in and just like kicks all them out of the bar. But then she starts getting angry at Peter. And then dethrones him. And I love that part when Peter's sitting there eating Stewie's graham crackers. He goes, "Hey, doesn't make graham crackers. Run along, Stewie. Daddy had a rough night." He goes, "I'm gonna go find something to strike you with." And Brian goes, "Peter, what's wrong?" Going, "Last night Lois was bad." And Stewie hits Peter with a bat. And then they go to therapy and finds out that they got to stop their anger problems. They try constructive ways by dancing, and then they all kill each other in the end. Yeah, I like this episode. It's funny how they poke fun at everything and poke fun at New Yorkers, which, as fellow New Yorkers, we have a sense of humor. We'll let it go.
For now.
We'll let it go. But it's a fun episode. Okay. Allie, what is your number 5?
Well, my number 5 is another Christmas special, and it's the telling of the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Oh my god.
Don't tell me.
No, it didn't.
Okay. It's not on your list.
No.
Is it on your list, Bill?
Nope.
Okay.
Is that on your list,
There's
JT?
a lot of references to like the olden times. Like, I mean, it starts off with, I don't know, them decorating for Christmas, an ad for Southwest Airlines, and how realistic it is nowadays.
Ouch.
I know. But pretty much, Meg talks about her favorite ornament, which was the manger, and Peter starts telling the story of the birth.
When Peter starts telling the story, you know what it's like.
Yay, Star Wars! I mean, it wasn't a Star Wars reference, but there was something in the end. So Peter was Joseph, Lois was Mary. She finds out from Bruce the angel that God's gonna give you a gift. You're having a baby. Oh. And Lois is trying to save herself. With counseling from Consuelo. And then they decide to go to Bethlehem to see a Cher concert. Oh my goodness. And yes, they had a movie trailer joke with I. I'm just trying to think what else. I mean, this is a really fun episode. You also got the 3 wise men, Joe, Cupid, and Quagmire. And I forgot who the king was in the Bible that wanted to kill the baby. Bill, help me out.
The baby, the king.
Oh, was it Herod?
Herod, yes, Herod.
Herod, played by Carter Peterschmidt. He wanted to be the tallest, the most popular one. He's like, all right, we're gonna go kill this baby. I mean, Lois, I don't know how comfortable she was It's time to give birth to Stewie, baby Jesus. Where BC comes to AD. How's it going? Meg was the donkey, I said. Chris was the drummer boy. And Peter steals the drums, even though Chris was like, but this is the only thing I have to own. Baby wants drums. And just Peter starts playing the drums. And then it turns to Star Wars, where Stewie just
Yes.
yes. Guns turn to Star Wars in the end. There was some jokes I think
His
about.
script just becomes a TIE fighter or something like that.
I think there was some joke in between there where Ebenezer Scrooge, they tried to do the whole Ghost of Christmas Past, but he ends up using the bathroom for a long time and just took up the whole time. And I think the irony in the end was there was a man and a woman who was about to have a baby and they just shut him out. That's pretty much the whole story of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Pretty much.
Anything else you guys want to say about it?
I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to the matter.
You have not seen this one
Really?
yet.
Yes, let's just,
Of all the episodes, you have not seen Jesus, Mary, Joseph?
I've not seen Jesus, Mary, Joseph. Okay, can we?
No.
No, we're moving on.
You are going to watch that.
Yes, I will watch it on Christmas. Okay.
All right,
On
Justin.
Christmas.
Well,
Okay.
you can watch it next month because it's Christmas in July.
Fair enough. All right, Mary West, number 4.
All right. My number 4 pick. I have 2 Road 2 episodes on this list. And here's my first one, Road to Germany.
Oh
Are
yeah,
you kidding? That's my number 2.
Yeah.
you swiped right.
Oh my god.
I have all the road 2s and my number 3, so I'll briefly touch upon that. But go ahead, Justin.
So yeah, this is the episode when Mort accidentally uses the time pad to go back in time to Nazi Germany. And Mort is having a horrible time. It's really uncomfortable. He swears a lot in this. I managed to watch the uncut version of this episode. He swears.
There's
a
an
lot.
uncut version?
Yes. I think it's on Hulu.
Now I'm going to have to watch it.
And it's this is also the episode where Stewie dresses up like Hitler, does the mirror gag with
Yay.
It's so
Hitler.
funny.
Oh, one of my favorite parts is the wedding. And if you haven't heard the song on its own about it, it's called Through a Village. Hold on. I have it on my like list. Let me pull it up and see if I have it. It's on my like list. Through the Polish. I know what it is. Through Poland to a Jewish village. It is such beautiful music.
Aw,
In a sad, melancholy way.
yeah.
Mm.
And I'm trying to think, there's also a lot of other references too.
Oh, and they
German
do
speaking-
Back to the Future-esque chase scene with those wacky Nazis.
Yes. The German
Where
speaking
they,
say. Don't forget the German speaking say. The cow goes.
That's
Does. No, he does not.
And
You know-
of course, that's poop.
Well, you know what I also like when they're trying to leave Poland, and there's that scene when they disguise more as a priest, going, "Hi, we'd like to leave Poland with our friend here who is totally not Jewish. Hi, how about that Jesus? What a guy!" It's such a fun episode.
That
In a
is-
mess, but it is kind of messed up.
Oh, it is.
It
It's
is.
so good.
Okay. Any more to say, Justin, or can I go with my number 4?
You can go.
My number 4 is Boys Do Cry.
Oh. Oh my god, I can't stop sneezing.
Okay, for those who haven't seen that this episode, Lois takes a job as a church organist. Which, okay, one of my favorite gags in the show. When Shame's like, here's a sea shanty for me boyhood. You took my pills and right on my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. And he plays Great Balls of Fire, and that's hilarious. And then, so Lois is now a church organist trying to get her family with moral values. And during Mass, which includes probably one of the best Family Guy songs ever, God, you are so cool. But sometimes it's like, what's the deal? You never answer your cell phone, and your answers are sometimes ambiguous. Amen. And there's a part when Stewie is receiving communion because he thinks it's like a cookie, and drinks the wine. Bruce, yeah, all you church-going people deserve a little treat. And then Stewie throws up, and they all say he's possessed. And the whole town thinks he's possessed, so they end up going to Texas.
Oh.
And a Family Guy cutaway gag that I think is very underrated. Brian goes, we're going to Texas for religious tolerance? That's like telling Sneakers O'Toole to take his sneakers off. Then the cutaway, I don't take my sneakers off. I am Sneakers O'Toole. Take them off. No. Take them off. No. And he goes, fine, let him go. We'll never catch him. Not with these shoes. I still got my sneakers on because I am Sneakers O'Toole. But anyway, it does show some of the backwards stereotypes about the South, of them being racist and homophobic.
Yeah.
And Lois wants to say because she thinks it's going to make her family better. And and of course there is a cameo by a horse that is voiced by the late great Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, he voiced the dog whistle too in a later season.
Yeah. Hey, do you still do stand-up? Yes, I'm in Atlanta next week. And you get a second? Of course. Yeah, but I think this is just such a fun episode to watch. It really is.
All
All right.
It's me.
Allie, you're number 4.
Number 4 is a Star Wars episode. It's a trap. Yes, I've mentioned this in the honorable mentions. This is the time I talk about it. It is probably the best. First off, episode 6 is the best Star Wars episode ever. My opinion. But this tops it off on how great it was. Because you had, yes, I mean, if you haven't seen something Dark Side, where Peter Griffin Han Solo gets cryinated, he literally shows his ass when he gets cryinated. You have Joe being Jabba the Hutt, speaking like Chiki Chiki Yaya ba Mila Kunis. It's so good. I mean, you also have appearances from American Dad characters like Klaus, who's the one that says it's a trap.
Yeah.
You also have Roger as well from American Dad. Awesome. This was just such a good episode. You also, I forgot the match with the Cleveland show in it, where Tim the Bears were all the Ewoks. You had Rollo, Cleveland's stepson, in it, and one of the fighter pilots. Probably one of my favorite scenes was the Pee Wee Herman bike scene. Paging Mr. Herman, Mr. Pee Wee Herman. I found my bike. I mean, let's just say if you've seen Star Wars Episode 6, you'll love this version. And I think in the end they talked about, oh, what about the prequels? And we'll let the Cleveland show do it. Now my question is, since we have the sequels out, what about the sequels? Who's doing the sequels?
Who is?
Apparently, though, Seth MacFarlane really did not want to do this. It's a trap.
He didn't?
Or apparently something Dark Side. Apparently, he just wanted to do the original one and be done with it. But Fox said no, keep on doing it. And that thing in the opening crawl was apparently true. Fox wouldn't let him go direct Ted unless he did this.
Oh, so you can't direct that unless he does a Star Wars. That's sad.
So yeah.
So I guess that means no prequel, no sequel,
No.
no spinoffs,
No Rogue One.
no Mandalorian.
No.
No Kenobi.
No. Well, then again, do you really want to see Herbert the Pervert as a young Obi-Wan?
No. But then again, same for the prequels.
God.
And if you think about it, you'd get teenage Herbert the Pervert. Think about who he went after then.
That's creepy.
All right. Let's get to our top three before I die of laughter.
All right, Justin.
So I'm going old on this one. I mean old.
How old?
The Boom.
That is the first chicken.
What?
It's the first chicken fight. This
Yep,
episode.
It is
At the very
chicken fight.
first chicken fight.
Oh, the Y2K
Sir, this coupon's
episode.
expired. Why, you son of a bitch?
I forgot to mention in the Star Wars thing, guess who was Boba Fett?
The chicken.
That's chicken. Ernie the chicken. I forgot to mention that. The whole staring thing, too. The whole nodding. Oh, gosh. Well, we're waiting.
Oh,
All
it's
right,
my
get
turn.
back to the Y2J thing.
Oh, that was a boom, and that was like
So, yes, this was the first chicken fight. After Ernie the chicken gave him a bad coupon, Peter starts the fight.
Oh, wow.
I love the
Just want to make that clear. Peter started the fight after Ernie gave him a bad coupon.
Han shot first. Peter started the fight.
Are we sure it wasn't the chicken man because he gave him the coupon? I still believe it's a chicken man.
You know what my favorite part of that episode though is?
What?
Randy Newman.
Left foot, right,
Right foot, left foot, right foot,
left foot, right.
left foot, right foot. That is like the best part of the episode.
Yes. Also just seeing like how weird the town of Quahog got after the explosions and the nuclear fallout. It was just Quagmire and Cleveland became Clevemeyer.
Oh, wow.
Joe
was it-
became
No, this
fused
wasn't
with-
an April Fool's joke, was it?
No, this was a Y2K episode.
Oh. What happens at the end of this after all this chaos?
It turned out to be all a dream by the character on Dallas.
Hmm.
What?
And it was with real life actors too. The real cast of Dallas was like, I just had the weirdest dream about an episode of Family Guy where the town blew up and Stewie was an octopus, and then the guy was like, it'll be okay. What's Family Guy? Like in that soap opera kind of way.
Right.
Because remember, we're talking about Dallas here. but yeah, this episode is absolutely insane. You notice a theme in my picks. I go for the insane picks.
All right. Is that it for you for number 3?
Yes, that is it.
Okay, my number 3 is. I'm just including all of them in one of the Star Wars parodies.
I think we definitely covered a lot about it.
But I really liked how in the first one when they're like the Blue Harvest going, the power's out. Well, we can tell stories, Dad. Why don't you tell the story? He goes, we had to scrub the afterbirth for Meg. Now here's the story of blah 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 blah. This is the story of Star Wars. Let's start with part 4. And they're doing the opening crawl, going, yep, this movie, I forgot what it was. After this is done, go watch it. I watched it after hockey. It's actually pretty good during the opening crawl.
A New Hope.
Yes.
Hang
And
on for a second. JT should
and
have
I-
said it. Should have known JT.
I love the scene. No, there was another movie that was they were talking about in the opening crawl. It wasn't.
Spaceballs.
It was some. Yeah, I don't remember. Okay.
How did you remember Spaceballs?
I don't remember the movie he was talking about in the opening crawl. Okay. But I love how they had Herbert as Obi-Wan.
Which we've discussed.
When
We
like,
have discussed a lot. And I do not want to die of laughter, Bill.
and I remember I'm going to show you to use the Force. It surrounds us. It penetrates us. Get your fat space ass back here. I love that going. Sorry, this private party. I'm a friend of Dave Navarro's. You're a friend of Dave Navarro's. You saw me here last week. I seemed like a pretty cool dude. I saw you here last week. You seemed like a pretty cool dude. Move along. And my favorite joke in the movie in this one, and the reason why Mark Hamill will never be in an episode of Family Guy.
But the late Carrie Fisher was.
What was that?
But the late Carrie Fisher was.
I'm Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon, and the only actor whose career was not destroyed by this movie. But that is why Mark Hamill will never appear in an episode of Family Guy, because of that joke.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to Mark Hamill, dude, get over it.
Oh,
it was a joke.
Wait, I remember at the end of the Star Wars parodies, they always made fun of Robot Chicken. And Chris Griffin, who was voiced by Seth Green, would just swear Family Guy out.
And then, of course, I love the other with Stewie as Darth Vader in the second one going, I am your father. We have tacos tonight. We only tacos on Friday. Well, today's Friday. And I love the last one, which they already talked about. And of course, I'll say the show again. And that's Star Wars. What about the prequels? Oh, the Cleveland show's going to do that. You know what? Unpopular opinion. I actually didn't think the Cleveland show was that bad.
It wasn't that great either.
Like,
It was all right.
I think it gets more hate than it deserves.
Yeah.
Can we all say that's a fair assessment?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't terrible.
It felt like American Dad.
Yes.
We all know about American Dad.
Okay, so that's my number 3. Allie, your number 3.
All right, my number 3 is a crossover between The Family Guy and The Simpsons.
Really?
Yes.
I remember when this episode came out, when they were previewing it, everybody was going nuts, myself included.
I mean, this was an hour, but it just felt so awesome to see Family Guy and The Simpsons verse, and also seeing all the controversy it has, where they find out that the Pawtucket Ale is actually Duff beer.
Yeah.
And they go to court about it. And surprisingly, you want to know who the judge is?
Who?
Fred Flintstone. Well, I'll get back into more of that later. I know in the beginning, pretty much the Griffins try to leave town because Peter posted an inappropriate article for women. As always. They go to the Simpsons, they lose their car. Homer and Peter pretty much try to get it through a car wash, in which an old man stole it. Forgot the old man, the one with the beard.
Oh man.
All right. Stewie pretty much tries to hurt any of Bart's, bullies or enemies, including Skinner.
Skinner!
And Apu, because he
Hopefully
always
one day,
wins.
folks. Top 10 Simpsons episode. Hopefully one day.
I cannot do the Simpsons. There's too many of them.
All right, guess I gotta have to do that by myself one day because JT's never seen an episode of The Simpsons either.
No, there's too many.
Are you kidding me, JT?
I've seen a good amount of them, but there's too many to pick. Okay, I'm going back.
Have
But
you
still.
watched any adult animated show?
All right, I'm sorry, Allie. Go on.
Again, you will be watching our number one picks and reacting to them. And by the way, you should also be watching our number one picks for South Park too, JT. Oh yeah, watch the
Yeah,
South
I
Park.
ain't letting you get off that easy.
You have to do reaction. Okay, but we pretty much again, Stewie wants to kidnap Apu because he wants to stay Apu. Lisa gives Meg confidence, and then Peter takes it back. And then to wrap it all up, we get, as the comic book guy says, worst chicken fight ever. Which, in my opinion, was probably one of the better chicken fights.
I'll say this. I'm glad you listen, I respect your opinion, Allie, but I'll be honest. To me, I remember the day they were hyping this up. And when I myself included, I was super hyped. And when I watched it, I'll be honest, I walked away from it kind of, it was okay.
Enjoyed it.
No, I didn't hate it. I just like, it wasn't great.
It was definitely more Family Guy than it was Simpsons.
Of
Well,
course. Now Dan Castanella has to do one, plus Matt Groening and everybody else who's in that has to do a Simpson version of Family Guy.
Well, because when Family Guy first came out, they branded it as a Simpsons ripoff.
Yeah.
Then what is? Oh wait, no, stop. And then I think remember in our South Park episode.
Yeah, and
I think this is your pick, Justin. It was the episode where the Simpsons did it with all the plots and stuff.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
well, because all the animators, Matt Groening, like when South Park, Matt Groening of The Simpsons, the guys from King of the
Trey
Hill,
Parker, Matt Stone.
they hate Family Guy. Like when South Park did that parody of Family Guy and made fun of them and torched them, the Simpsons creators sent them flowers, and the creators of King of the Hill told South Park, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, that they were doing God's work. So Family Guy is not well liked in that community.
Unfortunately. All right, let's get to our final two.
Okay, Mayor West.
All right. So I had to decide whether I want this to be my number two or my number one pick. I ultimately decided it's going to be my number two pick. It's going to be Road to the Multiverse.
I think I'm about to spoil you, JT.
It's her number one pick,
It's my
probably.
number one pick.
And
So I am officially done with my top 10. Thank you, Justin.
I actually had the road twos in I put them all in my number two, so
I thought you were going to say all to your number ones.
So
means JT would have
JT,
to
write
watch
this
all of them.
down. Your first episode you have to watch is The Road to the Multiverse.
So, Road to the Multiverse. Stewie enters a pig breeding contest and wins first prize for his genetically modified pig that he got from an alternate universe where Christianity does not exist.
I get with Meg still being beautiful, she's still the ugly one.
I know, that's the funniest part. She's like, to us, she looks like a bombshell, and yet to everyone else, she's still ugly.
because once you notice you'll be in a wheelchair.
And yet, what was it? Quagmire gets AIDS and solves it with a pill.
Not just pill, Tylenol.
And then I think in that universe, it's like, oh, do you have to make a poop or a pee? A poop. Poop goes into another universe.
And that comes back. So then they start exploring the multiverse a little bit.
We get the Flintstone universe. We get the universe where the United States never entered World War II. We get a Japanese version of them.
Yep, we get
The two-headed
Disney
universe. The Ice Age universe where we finally get to see Brian's poop.
Yep.
I think I know in order. You get the universe where everybody has to take a poop at the same time.
You get a universe where there's nobody
Disney.
except for one random guy.
Yes, you get the Disney universe, and you get the Robot Chicken universe.
It's a wonderful day for pie.
And we know the reason why they couldn't stay in the Disneyverse, even though it was such a great universe, except Meg being Ursula.
And yeah, and you know what? There's two universes I want to bring up. One of them is my favorite. It's actually this is a weird one, the Block universe. Alex, where is my supper?
Down in the oven!
Will I have it soon?
I forgot that.
Yes, mine too. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm frightened. Let's go. And also, okay, this one universe. I want to dedicate this one to our very, very dear friend. Guess who it is?
Dr. Matt Hemsley.
Dr. Matt Hemsley. We love you, Matt. It's the episode when everything is like a New York Times political cartoon.
Oh yes.
Oh, I totally get it. Oh God, there's a cat crying and something with.
I think.
Oh, that'll wake them up.
I know the final universe, everything switches, where humans are pretty much the pets and the dogs are the ones living a human life.
I love how they show Brian as a human.
Yes. Probably the best part of it is, well, if you want me to look it up, go ahead. So he just takes a poop and he tells Brian to pick up his poop. Pick up my poop. Pick up my poop.
Yeah.
Hey, you pick up that poop.
Mm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's your number two?
Yes, that's my number two.
My number two, it's all the road twos. Multiverse is probably my favorite. Road to Germany we talked about, so I won't get too much onto that one. I think that's
we're on the
road to Rhode Island. That's
when Brian tries to find his mom, right?
Yeah, I gotta admit that's a very heartbreaking episode.
Yeah.
And
I know the other
when he went to the farm that he was born and found out that his mother had passed on and they had her stuffed.
Oh. I know then there was Road to Rupert, which Brian
that was a good one.
Yeah, those are the road twos are just absolutely hilarious. Just of how much Stewie and Brian, how much they could really get into.
Yeah.
I love the way they're trying, and this is a recent one. They're trying to show Chris history to get him to pass the class, and the end is it's on the Titanic.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys know my answers are done. I have no more twos and ones. So it's on to
what's your number two?
My two was Road to Germany. My number one was Road to Multiverse.
Okay, so Justin, I guess we gotta get number one.
I'm gonna bring it home.
So JT, listen well. Here's your other two number ones. You have to.
I'm the one who brings it.
My number one is called The Splendid Source.
Okay.
This is the episode where Peter,
the joke was
Quagmire, and Cleveland, who is back for this episode only because he never comes back, guys. He's not coming back. He has his own show.
But he does come back.
I know. I'm making that was sarcasm. They go on a epic journey to find the world's dirtiest joke. And they're asking everyone. They're asking REO Speedwagon, who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who.
Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who's a Virginia bartender.
Like I'm a sucker for these globe-trotting adventures that they go on. And I love how it begins with this one joke that Peter cannot stop peeing himself over. And they don't reveal the joke in the televised version, but in the uncensored version, I think they do.
I thought they did reveal the joke.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I thought it was censored.
Like they did, but then they had to kill people.
Ah.
That was a part of it too. That was a good episode.
It was, wasn't it?
Yes.
So, I guess I'm. Any more to say, Justin? Or
That's all I got to say.
All right, JT,
so-
how you feeling about those 2 episodes so far?
And now, the last, my number one. It was
But JT
another
will
one
have
that I
to
was thinking, but then I thought, you know what? I really like this one better, and I love the episode of this. My number one, PTV.
Oh,
Okay, that's a
PTV.
good
Oh, this is with the FCC song.
Yep, they'll clean
You
up all
like
your
this,
talking
my
in
boo?
them.
Well, you shouldn't, because it's mine.
Okay. I'm gonna
Freaking FCC.
Hey, it's my episode. I'm talking about it.
We're interrupting and putting a cutaway gag in of JT watching these episodes.
Anyway, there was an incident on the Emmys that Peter missed because he was at Meg's school play, and the FCC goes crazy and starts censoring things. And then Peter decides to start his own network, PTV, where they show just dirty stuff. It's a joke that Justin said. It's the side boob hours. You like that side boob? You sure? Because it's tonight. Good night, everybody. That's side boob. Peter, you left me no choice. I called the FCC.
Yep.
And
And thus they go into the FCC song,
which is probably one of the best Family Guy songs ever.
Agreed.
There is negotiation. There's no Nick with the fellas at the freaking FCC. They're the stuffiest.
Oh, they performed this version at the Emmys.
Yes, they did.
What was that?
They performed this at the Emmys.
Yeah, I love that part at the end. It goes, without it, the Americans would have to learn to read. Oh my God. I love the song. And I love, so after that, they decide to basically censor real life.
Yep.
And you know what? Okay, I got to get into my stuffy professor mode now, don't I?
What?
Hi, class. My name is Professor Murphy. You signed up for this class for this semester. Are any of you going to transfer out of this class?
Why?
I'd like that this episode is a commentary on censorship. It's basically a commentary on censorship. And if overly censorship is necessary once you think about it.
Can it be censored politically? Because that's all I want.
And it's like the scene when they go to Washington and they're like, we support the FCC. You need to clean up your act. And then they start looking at the people with saying that people with dirty minds, the Washington Monument, how it looks like a
Yep.
And then saying, well, there was something weird about the Lincoln Memorial. So, yeah, that Seth MacFarlane does a commentary on over censorship, and I love it. Oh, cheeky bastard. I remember that going, where's the roast I said for my boss? Well, it's in my intestine. You cheeky bastard. My boss is supposed to eat that. Well, unless he likes it well done, he's going home hungry. So this is my favorite Family Guy episode. So JT, the 3 that you're gonna watch are
Road to
PTV.
Multiverse. Well, Road to Multiverse, PTV.
And The Splendid Source.
So those are your 3 you're gonna watch.
I took note. Don't worry.
And guess what? Justin and I, we're gonna be there, aren't we, Justin?
I won't be there.
Maybe.
I have to work.
We're gonna
I
be
can't
there.
wait to see the live reaction to those 3 episodes.
Well,
And it's gonna be wonderful, isn't it, Justin?
Oh, yes.
We can't wait.
they can't wait to go see it, to see my reaction to all their top Family Guy episodes. Well, that's gonna have to wait for another day, so don't worry. But there you have it. That's their top 10 Family Guy episodes. I want to thank mighty Bill Murphy, of course, aka Peter Griffin tonight, Stewie Griffin, aka Allie Wiener as well, and Dr. Professor Justin Favaro as
JT!
Mayor Adam West. Yes.
JT! JT!
JT.
What? Hi.
We better end the stream before anything goes down. Anyways, but we want to thank you all for watching, listening, however you enjoyed us tonight. This was this was on the docket for a while. We took care of it tonight. If you like what you've heard here, subscribe to us on YouTube. We do this every Wednesday. This is on Thursday this week, but next week we'll have to wait and see. But we'll be back to Wednesday sooner than later.
You just have to say, it has been on the last couple weeks. We've been doing it on Thursday.
Yes.
Just because things have been coming up. We all have lives outside of the show.
We do.
Hopefully soon we will be back on track and we'll be back to doing it Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
We will be sooner than later. I can guarantee you that.
We're not permanently moving to Thursdays. Everyone relax.
No. We're only temporarily on Thursdays for the time being. But I mean, we're going to talk about that after the show, and we're going to figure out for the next week as well. So don't worry about that. But thank you so much for watching, listening, however you enjoyed us tonight. And so for all of us here at the Super Review Show, thanks so much for listening to the top 10 Family Guy episodes. And we'll see you guys next week. So stay safe, take care, and
Be awesome.
Awesome. And don't forget, the bird is the word.
And don't forget to check out the Sports Insanity podcast. They're on all network and platforms.
We're awesome.
You are so welcome. Anyways.